Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Think Big podcast. This is where any limited beliefs you have, any goals you want to achieve, we are here to provide you more insights and help you reach those goals by giving you some mindsets of, thinking big. There's usually four of us, which is my best friends, Marlon, Sam and Daryl. They are speaking on stage right now. I'm not sure where, I forgot where it was. I think it's in Denver, but congratulations to them. So here I am. You guys get to hang out with me, Alejandro Alvarez. And yeah, let's get started. Today, we're going to be talking about how to stop thinking small. I think we all think very small, especially during these days where things are getting difficult, prices are going up, business are getting harder to start, etc. I just want to go over different tips, four tips I'm going to give you guys today. Hopefully I can get to all of them. I'm sure we're going to have some questions in the chat, and any questions you have, whether it's about mindset, real estate, business, please put them in the chat. I would love to answer all of those questions for you. So just want to tell you a little quick story about me, about how I got started into this entrepreneurship. How do I get started into real estate? And I've never really had a 9 to 5 job, never had a W-2. What's up, Zach? What's up, Victor? Nice to see you guys. Zach, I think you and I, we need to set some time aside, brother, and actually sit down and talk about business, man. I feel like we always support each other behind the scenes, but we never actually got to sit down, and that's okay too, but we never got to sit down and see what things we can do to help each other. And I think we both have a lot of value that we can provide to each other. So thank you for always showing up and being here and supporting the Think Big podcast, man. Appreciate you, brother. You too, Victor, as well. But yeah, back to how did I get started into this entrepreneurship? Well, I've never really had a 9 to 5. Dropped out of high school when I was maybe 17, I want to say. And that's a whole long story on its own on why that happened. But I've always been in sales. My first job, I was 16. It was this pyramid thing. Well, we were selling Kirby's, not door to door, selling Kirby's. Those are vacuums for those who don't know. Um, Man, and I'm really grateful for that experience because I've learned so much. And starting with the Kirby sales, it was such a hard thing to do, especially knocking doors and talking to complete strangers. That was very hard to do. However, it helped me overcome fear of talking to people at an early age. I'm 29 years old now, which means I've been in sales for over a decade. I would say the only thing that I had a W-2, to be fair, would be a valet job. I used to park cars at this hotel, really fancy hotel downtown Dallas. I thought that was pretty cool, but it wasn't really a 9 to 5 because most of my money was made with tips from the guests that were staying in the hotel. The checks were just like, whatever, here's something for showing up. But everything else was all about tips. And that's how fast you can run, how how important you can make those guests feel about getting their car. Do you open the door for them? Do you tell them, wow, nice tie, nice shoes, etc.? It taught me a lot of things, especially on how to be around wealthy people and high level people in the industry. But, just going back to it, I've always been in sales, never had a W-2. So it's a little bit more different for people that had a W-2. It's going to be a different approach. It's going to be a lot more fear into getting into sales or just starting a business out. That's going to be really difficult. But I'm here to help you. I'm here to give you some tips and some advice on how to overcome those fears and how to overcome those hurdles that you're going through. But I started real estate in 2015. This is when I want to say I was probably, what was I doing back then? Yeah, I was still doing valet. and I met with some cool guys here in Dallas. Started doing some bandit signs, doing the whole handwritten mail. For those who remember those days, I don't know if that still works. Handwritten mails, I think they probably do. But I started doing handwritten mails, doing bandit signs. I bought a trap phone. That's what they call it, a trap phone from Walmart or a flip phone, whatever that was. And people around me, my family thought I was doing drugs or something. I'm like, no, man, I'm doing real estate. So that didn't work out as well. But fast forward towards the pandemic, I was working at the dealership, and this is where it was a decent job. I was making about 6 figures a year. I don't remember the most I've made there, but I was for sure at 6 figures, 6 figures a year. And during the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, we all got sent home. They said, "Hey, COVID, go home." And for those who don't know, when you work at a dealership, it's strictly commission. So at that time, when I got home, I remember I was sitting on the patio. I had my nice slacks on that day, nice t-shirt, nice monk shoes, nice and shiny, all black. And I'm home, just sitting on the patio, drinking scotch at the time, just looking over at the pool. And I was like, wow, I really don't have control of my life. I don't have any control of my income. This is horrible. And keep in mind, I'm an individual that made money, went broke, made money, went broke, made money, went broke again. You guys have been more broke than broke. I don't know if you know what that means, but I've been there. Um, so going through, just sitting down in the patio, and I'm just like, wow, I have no control, and I'm in a relationship at the time. Like, how can I support? I have to pay rent, right? So that's when I realized this is not it for me. So the pandemic was a huge turning point for me. I think the pandemic was a bad time for a lot of people and a great time for a lot of people, and I put myself in a great time category because, oh my god, I wouldn't be here in this podcast. I wouldn't have this high quality camera. I wouldn't be here talking about sharing my story with you guys. So I'm super grateful for that. And when I sat there just drinking scotch, that's when I started doing 75 hard, because I remember I was reading the 75 hard book. I was like, man, I really need to get control of my life. So here's a really funny story about it. So the dealership gave you an option. You can take your you can take your yearly bonus and go home, or you can leave and you're going to be on call. So whenever we can accept people back in the store, when the pandemic thing goes down, you can come back. So I'm like, why is my yearly bonus held hostage here? So if I take my bonus, means that you won't be able to call me. I won't be on call. It's just until further notice. Anyways, long story short, I took my check, I took my yearly bonus, and I think I was the only person that was called back anyways that took the check. And a lot of the people at the store was like, how did you come back? Didn't you take the yearly bonus? I'm like, I did. They called me. The reason why they called me is because I was great at what I do, sales. I was selling 20 to 30 cars a month on average, maybe 23, 25, something like that. I was top sales for Nissan nationwide at some point. I have trophies behind there. Super grateful for the dealership. And I'll tell you why I'm grateful for the dealership, because it taught me a lot on how systems work, how to respond to emails correctly, how to talk to clients correctly, customers, etc. So I learned a lot there, and I'm still in touch with a few people in there that I truly appreciate. And yeah, so that's really how I got started in the entrepreneurship. I mean, after I got the whole, once I realized that this wasn't for me, it took a big, took a lot of courage for me to just say, "Hey, I quit. I'm going to go into real estate full time." It took me about, it took me about maybe 60 days for me to get my first check in real estate. The first one was $300. which I have it framed somewhere behind me. And then the second one was $70,000. And that's when I was like, oh, this actually works. $70,000. And granted, the company made that. I got a commission out of it. So once I realized that I stood behind a computer wearing shorts, calling random people, strangers, and made $70,000, I'm like, what the heck was I doing at the dealership all this time? So that's what real estate did for me, guys. And that's ever since then, I never looked back, never had any doubt that this is not going to work for me. And here's where the not having doubt comes in. I've been in sales since I was 16. So yes, I have an advantage per se, compared to a lot of people that have never been in sales, never understood how to run a business, how to run a system. You can say that, but what I can also tell you that having your own business or being part of a business or making money in real estate, it's actually pretty simple. It's not easy to be consistent, but it's simple to acquire what you want to acquire, whether that's buy and holds, wholesale a deal. I can get on the phone right now and find a wholesale deal. I can get on the phone right now and go find me a buy and hold. It's quite simple. And again, that came from acquiring the knowledge to do so. Thanks to the community I'm part of, Sub2. That's the one and only best community I've ever been in my life. As you can see, the logos in the back. Shout out to Pace Morby. Shout out to the community. I wouldn't be able to be here without the community. I wouldn't be able to be here without, me watching that Steve Tran podcast with Pace Morby. So anyways, that's just a little quick story, really quick, because people are going to watch this in the future and be like, why should I listen to this bozo? Why should I listen to this guy? Who is this guy? So just a little quick, obviously you're not going to get to know me over video. You want to see the actions. You want to get to know me, reach out to me on my Instagram. That's my tag right there. What's up, Paolo? How you doing? Darren, I see you. New York in the house. Take a little sip here. Oh, that's really good. Where's the top? Okay, cool. So 4 ways to stop thinking small. And I want you guys to write this down because some of it might not be useful to you at the current situation or position you're in right now. This is something that you're probably going to go through a specific journey, and then 3 months, 6 months from now, one of these tips are really going to click in for you. It's probably not going to click to you right now, and that's okay. But I want you to just write this down. And the reason why I ask you to write this down, I truly believe in this, is because it helps your subconscious mind to remember things a lot better than just watching a YouTube video, right? We all have that short, what's it called? Short span, whatever that is, where people just want that instant gratification quick and just want to keep scrolling. So just write them down. Write them down, and you can post this on Instagram, a screenshot of what you learned, what your biggest takeaways. Write them down on your phone. I think it's best to physically write them down on a piece of paper, just because you're actually moving your hands. You're telling your brain to, write this stuff down, and it's your own handwriting. So you have to first force yourself to write these things. I think the phone is doing all the work for you. It just takes away from absorbing the information. Pen and paper. Yep. Motivation 1-1. So let's go. The first one is change what you observe every day. Change what you observe every day. What do I mean by that? Literally change whatever you're doing right now. If it's not helping you get closer to your goals, change it. Change it immediately. I'll give you an example. I used to love watching movies. I still watch movies. I don't know, maybe once a month or something like that. Hey, what's up, Jade? Fun fact, guys, I spill my tea. I'm pretty upset. You can see here. I spilled my tea. And it's like all over the place right now. You guys probably didn't notice because I didn't even mention it. However, so the first thing is change what you observe every day. Literally everything. Whatever you do. Whatever you have to sit down, and I encourage you to write this down so you can run what we call KPIs on yourself, key performance indicators. to see what's stopping you from reaching your goals. You guys don't see this, but if you're sitting down watching TV, something that's not providing you value, that's costing you money. This is something Jim Rohn said. I saw Instagram thing. This is so funny. He asked the guy, how much does your TV how much does your TV cost you? And the guy responded, oh, it cost me $400. And Jim Rohn was like, no, 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 no. What did it cost you? You're missing numbers. And he was saying, I already knew the guy is someone that watches TV. And he said that TV, and this is back in the days, guys. I mean, that TV is probably costing you at least $12,000 a year. I mean, in today's money, I don't know. That's probably 50,000 or something. I don't know. So how much does that cost you? So write down everything you're doing, everything you absorb every day. So for me, here's what personally helps me. Okay, everyone is different. I listen to people that are in higher tiers in business, people that are doing things that I want to do. I just consistently listen to them every single day. People I listen to every single day without fail is Pace Morby, Alex Hermosi, Andy Frisella. Those are the main three people I watch every single day. And what's funny, they all have different personality. They all completely different. And, when I first started hearing about Alex Hormozi, I'm like, man, he said something about meditation. I meditate. And I was like, oh, I don't like this guy. But then he started popping up on my Instagram. I'm like, oh my God, this guy is everywhere. What are we doing? So I just started listening. And this is, at the time, this is what's funny. I was reading a book. I think it was the 48 Laws of Power. It tells you about how you can still learn from, like, you don't have to love someone to learn from them. And I read that. And I was like, oh, why am I being such a why am I being close-minded? He's obviously successful. Why am I not listening to him? I need to listen to him. So started listening to him, and here I am. He just released his books, and I probably ordered 10 of those books for support. The guy's amazing. I don't know if you guys watched, he's released for his new book, Alex Hormozi, but that was great. So going back to those things, right? So the TV, I had a TV in my bedroom. I removed the TV. Took it out and gave it away. I don't have a TV in my bedroom anymore, but this is something I was doing consistently every night. Is every time I get to bed, I will watch a movie. And there was this night, I don't know if it was maybe part of the self-development process, is there was this night that I watched a movie and it put me in a really bad mood. And then I woke up that next morning in a bad mood. And me doing meditation, I was, this for those who don't do meditation, what it helps you with is self-awareness. Meditation is not all about sitting there and be like, and just closing your eyes for 10 minutes. That's not what it is. It's just you're exercising your brain to be aware of what you're doing, your thoughts, being aware of your current thoughts. So whenever you have all these thousands and thousands of, I forgot how many thoughts we go through every single day. It's thousands and thousands. It helps you just stay focused on that one thing. So I meditated that next morning after watching that movie, and I was like, this TV is not doing me any good. It's not benefiting me to achieve my goals. So I gave it away. I think the next day, probably. I gave that TV away the next day. And I used to play, I love playing video games as well. I traded that in for a monitor. I was sitting there again. I was just sitting there. I felt guilty for doing these things because one of the things that I do every single night is I ask myself, if I was to not wake up tomorrow, would my family be happy for who I was before that? And I asked myself, and I also asked myself, did I do everything I could possible to help my family financially? And if the answer is no, I feel some type of way, and I have to go back and realize, what did I do wrong to make me feel that way? And again, this is for me, guys. This is not going to be for everyone. Some of you guys are probably like, yo, chill. I can't watch Netflix. Are you kidding me? Hey, man, if that makes you happy, no problem. No problem. It's just it didn't work for me. I didn't want to feel that guilt feeling anymore. So I removed it. It's gone. What else? I don't drink alcohol. I mean, that's personal. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with alcohol. I think you should drink wine. Wine is great, but I just don't drink it anymore. I've used enough of it, I guess you can say. So that's one of the things. And what you absorb, like, so for me, I still watch the shows. Like during my lunch, I watch shows like Billions. I don't know if you guys know Billions from Bobby Axelrod. I watch those shows not necessarily because the cast or whoever's in there. It's because the way they talk and the way they communicate with each other. It's about millions and millions and billions of dollars. I want to absorb that. I want my brain to get used to that way people communicate with such high numbers. Because I've asked this. It's interesting. I've asked this person. There's this kid. I don't know. I think he's 17 or 18 right now. And we talk often, not often, about certain things. And he was saying he knows I'm in real estate. He knows I make money in real estate, and he's telling me, "Oh man, I'm looking for a job. You know, I need to make money. This and this and that." And like I'm like, okay, why aren't you just getting real estate? What are you doing? And he was like, "Oh, I'm applying for this job at the what is it, trampoline place or something like that." Oh, Suits is dope, Jade. I love watching Suits. I'm so sad that they discontinued that. What a terrible choice. That's such a good show. But he was saying, I'm applying for this trampoline place. And I was like, whoa, here you are. You know someone that makes money in real estate, and you're forcing yourself. Well, I don't know. Force yourself to go work someplace that you don't even enjoy. So I asked him a question. I'm like, hey man, do you believe that you can make $10,000 a month? Like, do you believe that you deserve to make $10,000 a month, like right now? And he said, "Oh, it depends. I don't know. It depends, how committed I am or something like that, blah, blah." I'm like, "No, no, no. Just forget the depends thing. Like right now, in your current position, do you feel like you deserve to make $10,000 a month?" And he was like, "No, I don't." And there it is. There's my answer on why this guy hasn't asked me, "Can you teach me how to get a wholesale deal?" Again, this person doesn't have a job, and he's applying to go watch watch families play in the trampoline and stuff like that. And that's it, man. Again, I said this before, and 95% of who we are comes from our life experience. The way we think, the way we look at life comes from our life experience, meaning we all have our own reality. And this is something that was really difficult for me to accept because I would watch friends and partners and other stuff. I'm like, why don't you work as hard as I do? Why are you complaining about not making enough money, but at 7 p.m. you're not even working? You're waking up 10 minutes before meetings. I don't understand. Doesn't make any sense. And again, it's just their own reality. So you have to love them for who they are and just keep moving. And this is why I mean by be really careful with who you share your energy with. That's the next one. So change what you absorb every day. That's the TV, your energy, choose the right people, friends, outside friends, and whatever you watch. If you're on YouTube, if you love watching YouTube, watch a podcast. You'll get something. I was watching Ryan Pineda and Pace Morby this morning while I was taking my walk in the morning, and I gained value from it. Just gaining value consistently, and I go apply it because these are guys that are big in the industry and they've been doing it for years. Why not listen to them if they're doing the things I want to do in life? Why not? Stop listening to other people that are not doing anything to value their family or anything to find a better version of themselves. So that's the first one. Change what you observe every day. Be really careful. The second one is I made this up. So bear with me here, guys. I just made it up on the spot. Get around level 2 and level 3 until you get to level 5 while studying level 5. I'll repeat that one more time. Get around level 2 and level 3 until you get to level 5 while studying level 5. Here's what I mean by that. And I'm just breaking this down into different levels. When it comes to people in business, people in real estate, whatever that is, there's level 1, which is where we all start. There's level 2, there's level 3, level 4, level 5. And here's how I broke them down. The level 1 is broke or not where you want to be. Okay. The level 1 is being broke or not being where you want to be. So obviously it's going to be tough from being in level 1 and hanging out with level 5. A reason that being a reason for that is because you won't be able to understand what level 5 is talking about. You won't be able to understand what level 5 is going through. And level 5 may not want you around because you're still thinking small. So that can affect the level 5 person. So be around the level 2 and the level 3. Here's the level 2. Somewhat taking action, probably lacks consistency. Somewhat taking action. Someone's like, I'm in real estate, I got a deal or two in the past 6 months. I don't know. Here's why. Because I've done this multiple times where I've been around people that are doing better than I am, and I surpass them at a certain time because they have the knowledge, but they lack consistency. And this is why 99% of people in business never make it past 7 figures a year, because they're still in level 2, between level 2 and level 3. They lack consistency. They have great knowledge, they have great system, but they lack consistency. Okay. So you get around level 2 and you absorb the knowledge they have, and you take that knowledge and then you start hanging out around level 3. That's going to take you to the next step because you don't lack consistency. Okay. What's up, Danny? The level 3, it's going to be taking action, but not successful yet. This is for people that are consistently taking action, probably have the wrong system in place, probably they're on the way to becoming successful. The level 4 is going to be successful entrepreneur. I'll probably define these type of entrepreneurs that still work in their business. They're probably still employees in their business. They're probably still doing the ins and out of the business. They're not a business owner. They're just, the no system. There you go, Larry. And then the level 5 is a successful business, successful business owner. It's a difference where, you may have an LLC, but who's doing those cold calls for you? Who's doing the lead follows for you? If it's you, you pretty much bought yourself a W-2. You're not a business owner. You own an LLC that you work for. So you bought your own W-2. So that's what I mean about that. So that's level 4. But level 5 is you own the business. Now you have employees. Now you have systems in place. You can take vacations, perhaps do whatever you want to do to, you can go away for 90 days to a year and never have to do anything in the business because it's already automated. So that's what I mean about level 5. Does that make sense to you guys? Can you guys put something in the chat? Put some emojis in the chat. Some yes. Put some yes in the chat. Does it make sense so far? Hopefully, I didn't lose you guys with me making these stuff up as I go. Perfect. Let's see here. I'm almost embarrassed I haven't watched TV in over 6 years. Man, that's freaking great. That is great. Let's see what else we have. What tea am I drinking? I don't know. I think it's called Stress Relief from Yogi. Let's see what the note says. The last time this one had a weird note. May you create peaceful harmony as your life's purpose. The other tea note, it says, uh wait for opportunities. I'm like, what? How does that work? Who made that tea? Did you wait to make that tea? Doesn't make sense. Great. Thank you guys for putting in the chat. Okay. Okay, great. So that's level one and level two. I mean, I'm sorry, tip one and tip two. The first one is change what you observe every day. Number two is get around level two and level three until you get to level five while studying level five. Okay. And I want to elaborate a little bit more on that one. On the studying the level five. Here's what I mean about studying level five. Again, I'm watching Alex Hermosi. I'm watching, Billions, the show. I'm watching Pace Morby. I'm watching Andy Frisella because they speak differently. It's a different language. It's they're the 1%, of business owners. They speak differently, So I want to understand how they speak, how they communicate, what they're talking about, because I want it to be normal. Again, I go back to that same mindset thing where I asked the guy, if do you feel like you deserve $10,000 a month? And he's like, probably not right now. That's a mindset thing. That's because you're surrounded in your belief system and your own reality is causing you to think that way. And I think somebody the other day told me, I want to do something big in my business and I'm probably reaching, I'm probably thinking too big or something like that. I'm like, hey, don't say that. I had to stop him right there. I'm like, don't say that. The reason why you think like that's because the surrounding has not approved or validated what you are saying is actually achievable. And here I am to tell you that what you're saying is achievable. So do not say that it's out of your reach. Do not say that it's not achievable. It is. It's possible. I want you to say that because, again, if you truly believe that, the way you move, it's going to reflect on how you think, right? So for me, like, I think again, I listen to people that talks about millions and six figures and making $1 million a month. So whenever we make $100,000 a month or $250,000 a month, I'm like, oh my God, that's great. Let's get to 1 million. Now that's not to say that I don't sit back and I'm not grateful for making $250,000 a month. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I know that there's more. I can do more. Okay. And some people, they may disagree with that or, whatever, but that's what keeps me going, me personally. That's like, oh, great, $250,000. How can I make 500 next month? What is that? What does that look like? So it's just the way I think because I know it's possible out there. So that's that. That's what I mean about studying level five because you're going to get to understand how they think. Now you have the third one is redefine your struggles and fear. Redefine your struggles and fear. Uh, let's see. Have to reinvent yourself. That is so true. Around those who you are. Yep. They have an abundant mindset. Yep. So redefine your struggles and fear. And I learned this from doing 75 hard. I was reading the book and he was saying how to use your, I want to say, your bitch voice to your advantage. Studying level five, very similar to Pace Seller calls. I listen to those and repeat and always pick up something new. All the time, brother. All the time. I listen to Pace's phone calls from like back in the days, bro, like when he first started sub two, and I still learned something from those calls till this day. I still learned something because when I first started, I was level one and I didn't comprehend everything he was saying, so I still go back till this day and go listen and I'm still learning from that. So, yeah. So redefine your struggles and fears. And this is what I mean. You have to be able to redefine the actions you take for the emotions you're feeling currently. So if you feel, for example, like in the book I was reading, if you're just sitting here and you start to think of you should go to the gym, but you just can't do it. You're like, oh, don't worry. Your body is sore. You shouldn't go. You worked hard today. It's almost close to your bedtime. You probably shouldn't go to the gym. Like instantly, as soon as something positive goes through your mind, instantly it's like thousand negativities go through your mind on why that positive doesn't benefit you at all. Oh, I should go to the gym so I can become healthy. Oh, no, 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 no. Like, don't worry about it. You work all day. Don't do that. Do it tomorrow. Tomorrow. You already did yoga today. You already worked out today. All those thoughts are holding you back from getting 1% better every single day. So, redefining how you feel so you can have a different outcome will help you to move forward in life. So, wherever you are, if I don't know if you're in real estate and you're making 25 phone calls and I don't know, you tell yourself, "Hey, you know what? I'll do 27 today." Do 40. Tell that inner voice that, "Oh, I know you wanted me to stop at 27 or 25, but I'm going to do 40 just to let you know that I run this. I control my outcomes." Okay? That feels good. Like you get this dopamine energy that just boosts your confidence. Like you start to get more confident, right? You start to walk around like, oh, you're doing 25 calls. I'm doing 40. Matter of fact, I did 50 today, sir. What are you doing? It's just this confident you start to build up. And this is really important, especially if you want to run a business, if you want to be great at what you do, is confidence. And this is in somewhat you have to be delusional. And I'm going to try and say this without confusing anyone, right? Because delusion has a bad meaning to it. But you have to believe more than what you currently believe to achieve where you want to move, where you want to get to in life, if that makes sense. You have to believe more than what you currently believe to achieve where you want to get to in life. And sometimes that's delusional. Like, dude, I'm here watching, I'm scrolling, shopping $66 million yachts. I'm contacting the salesperson. I'm contacting this person for this house in Italy. I want to see what that feels like. I want it to feel normal. And then eventually, when I wake up and I'm making money, I remember that feeling that I felt when they said, "Hey, would you like to walk this? Would you like to see the yacht?" And like when you look at your account and you're like, "Well, damn, I'm really far from getting to that yacht." So you start to believe that you have to do more to achieve that delusional image you have. And that's what I mean. So you redefine those things. You're like, okay, great. Because I'm pretty sure there's some of you watching this right now. We have 230 people today to come see me by myself. That's great. Think Big podcast. Love it. You have to, a lot of you guys just sitting here. You probably like, oh, bro, I just want to make $20,000 a month. What are you talking about? Okay, great. How about $200,000 a month? What's wrong with that? Why not? Why not? Okay. Just think about it. Okay. So and again, you're redefining your struggle. So for me, whenever I don't feel bad about this, but I hold it in sometimes. Some of my partners, they go through a lot of shit and I'm inside like jolly. I'm like super happy. I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is freaking amazing. This is great. When we go through hurdles and stuff, I don't want to be that guy like, oh my God, I'm in such a bad mood. And why are you so excited? But sometimes I do it really bold and people like, okay, whoa. And they finally get into a better mood. And this is why you have to be really careful with your energy. But in business, like you're gonna go through things. You're supposed to. That's how you learn. Things are not always going to go as planned. What the heck do you expect? What do you think? You're going to, oh, let me get into real estate and everything's going to be perfect from A to Z. Wow. Good luck. Things are going to happen. So for me, I expect those things to happen. I looked for those things to happen. so I can learn from it, so I can get better from it, so I can acquire wisdom. So the next person that tells me, hey, how do you buy this, buy and hold? How do you raise capital? Uh, do it like this. Don't do it this way, because when I did it that way, I failed and I learned a lot from it. And it puts you in this position where you don't want to be. So just understand that. And then you just have so much, you have more confidence doing your next project. You have more confidence buying your next home. So when all these hurdles are, so you guys, for those who probably, I don't know how many of you guys are from the 90s here. Anybody here in the 90s? Born in the 90s, early 90s? Well, I used to play Super Mario. You guys remember those days playing Super Mario where you're jumping up and down into it, some random tube that take you into a different dimension? It takes certain steps to get there. And how many times before you got in that tube, how many times did you get killed by that weird, ugly frog? How many times did you fall through the crack? How many times did you die from something else? How many? A lot of stuff, a lot of times. And guess what? You restart. Remember when you were playing Mario and you died by the ugly frog? Guess what? When you restarted, you jumped over it or jumped on top of it to kill it. Why? Because now you acquired wisdom from what not to do. So how the heck do people not see that that's life? It's part of life. How do you not see that that's how business is going to go? What do you expect, to play Mario for the first time and capture the princess because you just happen to know the stages and how they're formed? Really? How? It doesn't make any sense. What frog? I don't know if it's a frog or whatever it was. Um, but it was the ugly brown thing. Are they frogs? I think they're frogs. It looks like frogs. Maybe they weren't. I don't know. So yes. So expect for those hurdles. So for me, it's like, oh, I'm supposed to fail. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Danny. This is really, ooh, look at Jamil Damji. Shout out to Jamil Damji. So yeah, like you're supposed to go through those things, guys. Like it's not going to be perfect. I don't know if you're sitting there behind your TV and like, okay, great, I'm going to consume content on how to wholesale for like a whole year, and then I'm going to take action. Why the heck would you do that? Tomorrow's never promised. I'm taking action today. Okay. And the way you do that is by understanding the first step. Understand the first step. Stop trying to find all the 100 steps before you take the first step. 70% of experience of I'm sorry, 70% of the knowledge you acquire and the wisdom you acquire come from the experience, life experience. So why would you sit there for a year to understand 30% of your knowledge? For what? For what? For what? Right? Knowledge is great, but without implementation, it means nothing. So what are you going to do with that? Okay. So for me, when I first started in the wholesale, I had a great mentor. He said, hey, bro, start cold calling. I'm like, okay, great, sure. So if I start cold calling, I'm going to be able to like get to the $10,000 a month and stuff like that. He was like, yeah. I did not ask him, okay, how do I dispo? Well, what happens after that? Well, who sends the contract? I did not care at all. As you want me to cold call? Okay, great. Cold call. At some point, he was like, hey, bro, do you want to do something else? I'm like, what do you want me to do? Okay, you can close the deals now. Okay, great. I'll close. Easy. What do you want? So I already knew how to cold call. Then I started closing deals. In fact, I started closing deals while I cold call. You can ask my business partners. People like cold call, submit the lead, follow up, close. No, cold call. I'll close you right there. You're interested? Great. I can send the contract right now, right from the cold call. What do I do next? Well, you can send them the contract. All right, cool. I hate doing contracts till this day. I think is the most boring thing on the planet. Shout out to all the TCs out there. We need you. I need you. I don't want to do that. Fill in the blank, highlighting it, sending this. I don't have time for that. Hey, it's time consuming. Jade. I didn't mean to. And after that, he taught me how to do dispo. And I acquired, again, the steps. And within 60 days, I made the company, I don't know, over $80,000 just by being behind a screen, cold calling on my short with my shorts on. And that was it. But why would you want to know the systems? Why would you want to know what list to pull? Why would you want to know how to dispo? Why would you want to know how much does it cost to get DocuSign? Just pick up the phone, bro. Just get on the phone. Whatever that is. Whatever you're good at, go find a successful wholesale business and integrate yourself in a department that you feel like you'd be comfortable doing every single day without failure. Now, if you feel like you have to do things you hate to do to get to the next level, that's part of it. But plan your exit. Plan your exit. Plan that, okay, great. I don't like doing this. So I'm going to do it for this much. I'm going to do it for 3 months and I'm going to hire someone to go do this for me. The less you know is probably better. Just go make the call. Yes, I agree. The less you know, it's probably better. I have people that make calls as well. And, they ask for scripts and they ask for this. I'm like, just call, have a conversation with them. Just get on the phone, ask them if they're interested in creative finance. That's it. Well, how do I start that conversation? Hello? Hey, this is such and such. We're here doing real estate. Just wanted to see if you're interested in an offer in this property. Great. Okay. Everyone wants the red pill. Yeah. I agree. Okay. So redefining your struggles, expect to fail. And for me, whenever this really emotion, maybe anxieties or like, oh my God, this is a lot, I breathe that in. I breathe it all in. This is great. I'm supposed to go through this. And this is not me being delusional. This is me redefining what that emotion is doing. Because throughout my whole life, whenever I felt like this, it's like, oh my God, such a bad time. Now it's like, no, this is a great time. And guess what? It's really bright on the other side once you go through that. Once you go through that hurdle, once you go through that situation, whatever that is, man, it is really bright. I'm telling you that right now. Okay. You're supposed to go through that. Cool. So that was the third one. Let's go back. The first one was change what you observe every day. Don't know why I have a hard time pronouncing that. It's weird. Get around level 2 and level 3 until you get to level 5 while studying level 5. Okay. What that looks like: level 1, being broke. Level 2, somewhat taking action. Level 3, taking action, but not successful yet. Level 4, successful entrepreneur. Number 5, successful business owner. And number 3, redefine your struggles and your fears. Number 4, this is the boring one that no one seems to like to do often, is very simple, but very difficult to be consistent, is work on your health. Work on your health. Seriously. Whatever you eat, whatever you physically do, just work on your health. Okay. If you don't work out consistently, it's probably going to be hard for you to be consistent. But here's what I want you to try. I want you to try to do small things, such as taking a 10-minute walk, taking a 15-minute walk. And when I say 10 minutes, make it 11 minutes. Trick your brain. When I say 15 minutes, make it 20 minutes. I do that all the time. I challenge my thoughts every single day. It's such a weird thing, and I laugh at it. It's almost weird. Like, people, what are you laughing at? Like, I just tricked my brain. I told my brain that I'm going to run until that tree, but I actually did it past a tree. So it was funny. So I actually slowed down and I keep going. Something I do every single day. I challenge myself. So work on your health. Be careful with what you eat. And listen, you may be listening to this and you'll be like, it's fine. I'm just going to eat chips and drink beer and whatever. Listen, being unhealthy, it fogs your mind. And if your mind is not healthy, then your bank account is not healthy. Okay. It may be temporary, but you might not be able to hold that financially. Because if you are eating terribly, if you're not exercising, that's where all these negative thoughts start to go through. You get this high dopamine of eating that buttery, what's that thing called? Chocolate fudge, whatever that is. And the next thing you know, like literally like 15 minutes after you finish, you're like, oh, I'm tired now. I don't feel like working. Should I go get more chocolate? That's the things that's stopping you, guys. You have to be able to overcome that. Okay. And you have to set little small habits. Start small. Don't say, okay, great. I'm going to work out every single day. I'm going to stop eating these bad food. No, no, no. Don't start there. Start with this. Okay, instead of 2 chocolate bars, I'm going to eat 1. I'm just going to eat 1. Okay. And how do you do that? Well, you remove the temptation from in front of you. So if you want to eat 1 chocolate bar a day, throw away all the chocolate bars you have. And this is an example, guys. So don't be like, hey, I don't have chocolate bars. This is just an example, just whatever bad habits you have in your life right now. Throw it away. Throw it all away. And make it to, okay, I'm going to finish this task that's going to help me be financially successful. And then I'm going to reward myself with 1 chocolate bar today. And then eventually you'll stop. You'll stop because you don't need it anymore. Because now, guess what? It's just another reward that you give yourself, and you probably don't even want it anymore. And that was the same thing with me when it came to alcohol. When I started doing 75 hard, well, I hate my rock bottom, guys, so it's probably a little bit different. Like I was 220 pounds, 15 pounds, or something like that, and maybe about 3 months later, I was 185. Got in shape, but I realized that when I went to the lake and I took a picture, and I was the only guy that looked big. I'm like, yo, what? That was not me. And prior to that, I was actually in really great shape. I was ripped, and I went to the gym a lot of times. But I looked at that picture. I'm like, who is this guy? I don't even feel comfortable looking at myself. So that's the whole 75 hard thing. And after the first 75 hard, what did I do? Did I drink scotch? I don't know if I went back to scotch. I think I drank some wine. And it was like, ugh. I don't know what it was. It was like that was disgusting. And then I did phase 1, and that's when I tried drinking again. I think I drank some whiskey or whatever that was. And honestly, like I got pretty tipsy, like just after like maybe 4 sips of it. I'm like, okay, I'm putting that down. That's annoying. Because I felt the alcohol controlling what I've achieved physically and mentally this far. And I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want to feel that anymore. So I just stopped completely. Last time I tried to drink was, well, the year prior to this, I had to drink with my grandma. I've never had alcohol drinks with my grandma. And I had this really special bottle that a friend of mine made that says my business name. I just took like 1 sip. I drank with my grandma, like it was for New Year's, and that was such a great moment. Now that I put it back away. And then last year for New Year's, I did champagne, and that was the most disgusting thing I ever had in my life. I don't know what it was, but I just put it down, and that was it. It was done. That was it. So last year I probably drink. Last year I probably drink once or twice, and that was it. And I made up my mind this year. I'm like, I'm done. That doesn't do anything for me anymore. So that's what I mean about work focusing on your health. You have to realize the things that are. And again, guys, there's nothing wrong with alcohol. I'm not the guy saying, "Oh, alcohol is terrible for you." But if you do it very often, it's probably bad for you. Do it here and there, whatever what you want to do. I just don't do it. So that's that. Start small. If you want to lose weight, okay, great. Don't say I'm going to lose 5 pounds a month. Say you're going to lose half a pound a month. Okay. And what that does, it starts to give you these dopamine effects every single time. Like, oh, half a pound. Ooh, I should try a pound next time. Ooh, I should try 2 pounds next time. Same thing with the chocolate bar. Oh man, I only had one chocolate bar all month. What would happen if I don't eat it for 6 months? What happens? So your brain start to process this because you got this dopamine, this confident boost, and all you want is more of it. So how to get more of it is by doing better at it, right? So now you're going to stop having the chocolate bars and whatever that is. What is this? 1 second, guys. It's weird. Okay. So you start to do things like that and you start to create very positive habits every single day. You start to create positive, positive, positive habits. So work on your health. Excuse me. Work out. It doesn't have to be every day. Again, you can start once a week. I really, really, really recommend this. I've been working out consistently every single day for the past 3 years, every day without fail. And sometimes it's just a walk. It's just a walk outside. It could be, riding my bicycle. It could be, I have nature. I have a trail. I'm fortunate enough to have a trailer in my apartment, so I get to experience nature. I have a bicycle. I get to ride my bicycle. Something else I do is gratitude every single day. It's really hard to see what you're happy for, especially when you don't write it down. Like, it's really good to just look back at it. So that's one of the things you can do. Be healthy. I really want to cut. Let's see here. I really want to cut out alcohol completely too, but a lot. I've cut back a lot, but not enough. Yeah, and this is, Jay, this is also something that it really depends on who you surround yourself with as well. If you have, I don't know what you have at home. If you have a whole bunch of wine bottles, you're obviously going to be tempted to drink wine. If all your friends are drinking and you go out with your friends, or your friends are at your house, you're obviously going to be tempted. So the obvious thing to do is to remove the temptation. Temptation of bad habits. That is the easiest thing I've figured to do in my life. Anytime I have a bad habit, I just remove it. I'm like, yo, this is not benefiting me. Gotta go. So that's that. Did did you feel your vibration lower after drinking? By the way, guys, we have a couple of minutes. So if you have any questions, if you got any value from this, I would love to see some questions in the chat. And if you got any value from it, feel free to put something in the chat. Let's see here. Oh, man, I'm not okay. Hopefully this question doesn't bring any negatives there, but what's the point of working out given we all die in the end? All efforts, I don't know what that means, will be destroyed and forgotten. Why do all these egoistic gains? What function does it serve, really? Okay, great. That's a great question. Well, if you go back and you look at again, this is from my own life experience. If you go back to see who actually lasts longer in life, you can see that the people that stay healthy actually last a lot longer. That's a fact. If you don't take care of your body, you're at high risk for, death. So I don't know about you, man, but I'd rather be here for a longer time, to spend time with my family. I'd rather be able to increase my chances of life to provide for my family than decrease it. So anything that decreases my life or my health or my time here on the planet, I don't do it. So that's just my take on that. What is your number one daily habit that you feel has the most profound effect on your life? Meditation. And again, this is just sitting down in quiet in the morning and just understanding my thoughts and understanding that I'm pretty much. So Jade, look at it this way. Look at it like a bucket of thoughts. When you do meditation, you just get to choose which one actually will benefit you in your life. So I sit there and I'm like, okay, I don't want to think about that. Gone. So I put the positive stuff in the bucket and then I focus on that all day. That's all I do. So meditation would be the best help because I'm telling you, I've had times where like anxiety hits and you're like, oh my God, like you feel like you can't breathe and you just sit there and you relax and you take deep breaths. It's like you almost like a restart. It's almost like a restart button and you're just back. So works for me that way. Working outs help me have more control of my emotions. Correct. That's another one there for you, Brand. Working out helps me have more control. Yep. Yep. So that's really about it, guys. So that's the 1 hour. Thank you guys for joining today. Truly appreciate you. If you gain some value, you know what to do. Share with your friends, share them the link, post on Facebook, tag me on Instagram, reach out to me personally in my DM on Instagram if you need help with anything. I would love to help you the best way I can. And if you didn't get any value from it today, no problem. I completely understand it's not for everyone. But appreciate you for stopping by and watching. And, perhaps we'll see you in the next episode. On that, have a great day, guys, and see you next time.